y'all, and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is all about this look right here. And you guys know I love green eyeshadow. I think it is beautiful on every single skin tone, and I haven't really shown you guys a really blown out green smoky eye in such a long time. So this look is really a very detailed tutorial on this eyeshadow look, featuring these lashes, which I love. I think they're very dramatic, but you can improvise if you want to. And because we're always wearing our mask when we're going outside, I hardly ever wear makeup these days. So I figured, you know what, Vanessa, you're gonna do a full-blown beat down for the gods. So this is a very full coverage glam that I have for you guys today. Go ahead and thumbs up this video if you haven't already. Don't forget to subscribe to join the Vanessa Monet family. Let's go ahead and get into the look. Alright guys, so I brought you guys a little bit in closer with me so that you guys can really get into this look. I am picking up my Infallible Pro Concealer. Now this one is from like Walgreens, CVS. It's like a really good concealer. I would compare it to the Tarte Shape Tape. The reason why I do this is because I really want my eyeshadow to really pop. Now this shade is in 385 Amber, I believe, and I'm just taking this really fluffy brush and just blending that out onto my lid, making sure it's like evenly distributed. I need to get my eyebrows done, but because I'm going out of town tomorrow because there's a hurricane coming our way, I wanted to go ahead and record something that I've been meaning to record for a really long time. So you see how blanked out my lids look? They're a completely different shade from my entire face, and that's a good thing because again, I do want my eyeshadow to really pop. I'm going to take my Micro Smooth powder, and this is in the shade Tan. This is closer to my skin tone, but I do like to use this to really set that concealer in place so there's no transfer, there's minimal fallout, and you just have a nice, beautiful canvas. As you guys can see, I really need my eyebrows done, but for the sake of this video, we are going to act like we don't see that. I'm going to take my Morphe palette. This is the, I think this is the Second Nature 3502 palette, and it looks like this. So I'm going to take this color right here at the top. And I like to start out with flesh tone colors, especially when I'm doing dramatic looks, because they just give your eyeshadow looks a lot of, you know, room to transition, if that makes sense, because I really like very blended shadows that don't look super cut creased, but really, you know, natural and really smoky. And you always want to start out with a color like this to really get you there. And notice I'm kind of patting that on there, and notice I'm giving like circular motions. And I am kind of taking this up to the front of the brow right there, and then kind of blending down, leaving my brow bone blank. So I'm going to go in with this orangey shade right here in the middle. Whenever I have a green shade that I want to throw on my lids, I love oranges to blend into. It just looks really pretty to me. And you guys know I love a good orange shadow. I'm really just rounding out my eye shape, give it a lot of dimension so that when I do add a little bit of color, it'll look really nice, right? See that? I just live for an orange, guys. And don't be afraid to kind of take your time to blend. For me, it's all about the layering and making sure your shadows are really nice and blended, because when they aren't blended, trust me, honey, you're going to be looking a hot mess. Now, I am going to come back to this shadow because, again, you can always blend it out more and more. But for this, I just want to go ahead and get into some browns. So here I'm going to go into just a few of the brown shades in the palette. And notice I'm using the same brush. And I'm taking this from the outer corners, and I'm kind of building up towards my crease. And again, I'm being very light on my pressure. You don't want to be too heavy, because when you're too heavy, you'll create more harsh lines than you actually need. So I'm going to go in with this Saharan palette by Juvia's Place. What they have in it is this shade down here called Chad. Now Chad is a very charcoal shade of black. And I'm going to add this closer to my crease and my lid, my outer lid pretty much. I'm still using that same technique where I'm like tapping it on. As you can see, now you can smoke out your whole lid with this color, but I'm just using it to deepen my crease with this smaller brush. When you have a bigger brush, it's really hard to do this step because you'll have shadow all over your eyes and you'll have raccoon eyes. So the smaller the brush, the more detailed and more compact the shadow will be versus using a more fluffier brush as I was using earlier. I'm going to just continue to blend. Okay, so the eyes are there. All right, so I feel like the eyeshadow is almost done. And that's the great part about cut creases. Like the looks literally take minutes. I'm gonna take the Saharan by Juvia's Place, one of my favorite palettes. So I'm gonna take the shade Kia right here. And I'm gonna place this right on my lid. I'm glad I did my eyeshadow first. I do see a little bit of fallout from this shade. Alright guys, so I'm taking this Wet n Wild kohl eyeliner in the shade Simma Brown now. I'm going to add this to my lower lash. I'm then going to add some black liner just to further, you know, smoke it. Alright, so I'm going to go back into the Saharan palette. I'm going to pick up this shade here and kind of just use that to kind of smoke out that liner a bit. That's why it's so important to really have a nice powder. My nose runs. Does your nose run when you're doing your makeup, or is it just me? All right, so I'm just kind of dusting away that powder real quick. You go ahead and add mascara. This is the Voluminous Lash Paradise by L'Oreal. It's a really great mascara. One thing I like to do is look up into my mirror so that I don't get mascara on my lower lash line if I'm doing it like this or in front. You always want to look up. This didn't even take that long. Like, I'm so proud of myself. So I'm gonna take my Makeup Shayla Collab liner with ColourPop, which is just a basic brown liner. And I do brown liners with all my lips because my lips are small. This just gives me that illusion that I have big lips. A little bit of overlining won't hurt, promise. So I'm going to do something that I have never done before. I'm going to take a little bit of this lipstick. This is the Melted Matte by Too Faced. I'm going to literally take a small bit. This is in the shade Miss Roper. So it's like an orange. Now I'm going to take my I Heart Revolution gloss in Salted Caramel right on top. Let me fix my little headband situation.